Welcome to IST, the official YouTube channel of Indian Society of Toxicology. Today we are discussing about alcohol-related toxicity, especially methanol poisoning. First we will see what are the complications of normal alcohol or ethanol poisoning. The toxicity of alcohol depends on the level of the alcohol in our blood. If the blood level more than 100 mg per deciliter, patient normally present with ataxia. If it is more than 200 ml per deciliter, patient can have drowsiness and confusion. If more than 400, patient can have respiratory depression. These are the clinical findings. These are the routine cases we get. We can have additional finding because some patients will have liver disease and hepatic encephalopathy also can be present with many of these patients. Now, diagnosis is in emergency room in alcohol poisoning is smell of alcohol, hyperglycemia. Many patients will have high blood sugar even when they are not diabetic. They can have high blood sugar, high anion gap acidosis. We can check the blood alcohol level like what we told. We can calculate the osmolar gap. All these things will tell you whether it's a simple alcohol or some abnormal alcohol is or adulterated alcohol is present. So that is the first step. Management of ethanol poisoning in emergency room is we have to give gastric lavage if the patient present to emergency room less than 1 hour. Charcoal is not helpful in alcohol poisoning. Thiamine should be given first itself. If simple alcohol intoxication, you can give 100 mg thiamine then followed by 50 ml followed by 50 ml dextrose. So thiamine should be given first and then you give dextrose. Otherwise patient may develop acute thiamine deficiency if you give dextrose first. If the patient present with thiamine deficiency, that is beriberi features, you have to give higher dose of thiamine. You have to give 500 mg of thiamine first itself. In alcohol poisoning, you can give 100 mg of thiamine. Thiamine is available as 100 mg IV. If the patient is agitated, you give lorazepam. 1 to 2 mg per oral or IV can be given. Or we can go for haloperidol. 5 mg haloperidol can be given. IM or IV, both are possible. But remember, most of these patients will have liver failure. They can have thrombocytopenia. IM can produce sometimes bleeding into the muscles. Mechanical ventilation is required only if they have respiratory depression. Now we will go to the methanol poison. This is an adulterated alcohol. Most of the time they present with visual loss. This methanol poisoning occurs in industrial spirit poisoning that will be adulterated with the normal alcohol, and sometimes it may be good also. If you have normal alcohol along with the methanol, the side effects of the methanol can be reduced. Methanol itself is a CNS depressant. It is metabolized into formaldehyde and formic acid, which causes metabolic acidosis and retinal injury. That is very important. Retinal injury is the most important clinical finding of methanol, which is different from ethanol. Lethal dose is 30 to 50 ml, but blindness can be produced by 10 ml itself. So it is very important. 10 ml of methanol can produce blindness in a patient who consumes methanol. Now, clinical features we have already seen in alcohol. Patient can have metabolic acidosis, bradycardia, shock. Severe poisoning, patient can have myocardial depression, bradycardia and shock. So, patient develops shock because of various reasons, but main thing is myocardial depression. Most of the patients who consume methanol, if it is more than 10 ml, they can have ophthalmological manifestation within 15 to 30 hours after the ingestion. Initially, it will be clouding of the vision, diminished vision, dancing and flashing spots in the eye, dilated and fixed pupils, hyperemia of optic disc, papilledema, and finally, it will lead to blindness. Relative afferent pupillary defect is one of the most important findings used in this blindness patients. So initial ophthalmological evaluation is very, very important in suspected methanol poisoning. These changes are reversible if you treat the patient initially itself. Once the patient develops complete visual loss, it will be very difficult to reverse the vision. So clinical features are acidosis, cardiac failure, shock and visual loss. Investigation which is done in emergency room are ABG. ABG normally produces high anion gap acidosis. Anion gap acidosis can be calculated by sodium minus chloride plus bicarbonate. If the anion gap is more than 12, we can call it as high anion gap acidosis. Initially, the anion gap may be normal even in methanol poisoning, but after some time, after the production of the abnormal acids, the anion gap will increase. As the formic acid produces, slowly anion gap increases. Another important finding in methanol poisoning, anion gap acidosis is seen even in normal alcohol poisoning. Elevated osmolar gap, that is very important. Osmolar gap can be calculated by serum osmolality by calculated osmolality. Calculated osmolality can be measured by 2 into sodium plus glucose plus urea. You will get the osmolar gap, calculated osmolar gap. So serum osmolality minus calculated osmolality will give the osmolar gap. An elevated osmolar gap more than 10 millimoles per liter will give you the clue of this methanol poisoning. So there are multiple DDs for high anion gap acidosis and high osmolar gap acidosis, but somebody is saying a high anion gap acidosis with high osmolar gap acidosis with visual loss, we have to suspect methanol poisoning. So DDs for this is ethanol, methanol, formaldehyde, ethylene glycol, isopropanol. So many conditions you can get high anion gap acidosis and high osmolar gap acidosis. But if the patient is having associated visual loss, think about methanol toxicity. When we suspect methanol toxicity, we have to take the ethanol levels and methanol levels from our toxicology lab. Now, management of methanol poisoning in emergency room. Do not try to induce emesis. That is very important. We should never try to induce emesis in most of these toxins because patient can have aspiration and aspiration pneumonitis if you try to induce emesis. Gastric aspiration can be done if the patient present with this intoxication in less than 1 hour. Activated charcoal is not effective in methanol poisoning. We can give IV folinic acid. This is an active form of folic acid. Leucovorin is the brand name. 15 milligram and 50 milligram IV are available. 15 milligram tablets are also available. But in methanol poisoning, we have to give 50 milligram IV. That is 1 milligram per kg body weight we have to give. Maximum dose is 50 milligrams. So in an adult, take methanol, and if he develops the toxic features, we have to give directly 50 milligram as a IV injection. Followed by folinic acid 1 milligram per kg IV every 4th hourly for next 6 doses. It increases the metabolism of formic acid. This leucovorin should be diluted in dextrose solution, DNS, and give over 30 minutes. So it should be given as an infusion. So folinic acid is an active form of folic acid. It's available as leucovorin, 15 milligram IV or 50 milligram IV. We have to give 50 milligram IV every 4 hours. So this is the action of the antidotes of methanol poisoning. Antidotes are formipazole, ethanol, and folinic acid. This chart tell you where it acts. So here folinic acid act in the conversion of formic acid to CO2 and H2O. There it acts and it increases the conversion very fast and removes from the body. Other antidotes are ethanol. The first antidote is ethanol. The loading dose of ethanol is 10 ml per kg, 10% ethanol in 5% distilled water over 30 minutes. We have to give it as an infusion, and we have to give thiamine along with that because most of these patients will have thiamine deficiency. So when you are giving ethanol, you have to replace thiamine first itself. Indication for ethanol or formipazole, that is an antidote for methanol poisoning, and methanol concentration more than 6 millimoles per liter or 20 milligram per deciliter, an increased anion gap acidosis, visual loss. All these things are indication for ethanol antidote or fomepizole treatment. It should be continued until the methanol level falls less than 3 millimoles per liter. So methanol, in methanol toxicity, we have to give ethanol or fomepizole. Both are antidotes, and folinic acid if the patient is having clinical findings of toxicity like high anion gap acidosis, high osmolar gap, or visual loss. Next drug is fomepizole. It's an alcohol dehydrogenase antagonist. Dose is 15 milligram per kg in 100 ml of dextrose solution IV over 30 minutes, followed by 10 milligram per kg IV 12th hourly for 4 doses with or without dialysis. If the acidosis is not getting corrected, we can treat the patient with bicarbonate also. So soda bicarb can be given, fomepizole can be given, ethanol can be given, folinic acid can be given. All these things are used as antidote for the patient who develops visual loss or high anion gap acidosis in methanol poisoning. If the patient does not respond to your initial treatment, immediately we have to start the patient for dialysis. Hemodialysis is very important, which can enhance the elimination of methanol and formic acid. So that should be initiated if the patient does not respond to your initial treatment. Whenever we get a mass casualty, like multiple persons are presenting to emergency room, more than 3%, we can use this chart for making the diagnosis of ethanol, methanol, or some other toxic alcohol. According to this chart, you can treat the patient. Treatment part is same, but when we get multiple patients in emergency room, you better follow a chart like this so that you can easily diagnose and triage and treat the patients. Another newer treatment which is used for methanol poison is autologous stem cell derived growth factor that can reverse some amount of visual loss even if the patient present after 2-3 days. This can be tried. There are recent guidelines for using autologous stem cell derived growth factor in visual loss produced by methanol toxicity. Few words about ethylene glycol. The toxicity of ethylene glycol is mediated by its metabolites, mainly glycolic acid and oxalates. These metabolites are responsible for the pathogenesis and clinical features of patient who present with severe acidosis, altered behavior, crystalluria that can present with renal failure. Patient can have hypocalcemia, oliguria, hematuria, severe flank pain, and elevated creatinine. All these things are possible in ethylene glycol. Visual loss may not be there. So this is a mechanism of toxicity produced by ethylene glycol. You can have neurotoxicity and nephrotoxicity other than acidosis part in other conditions, other types of toxic alcohols. Antidote is same like previously we discussed. Ethanol or fomepizole can be used in patient who develops clinical findings. Otherwise, treatment is almost same. So whenever we suspect a patient with high anion gap methanol poisoning or ethylene glycol poisoning, we have to give folinic acid, fomepizole, and ethanol. So clinical diagnosis will tell you what is a possible, whether it is a possible alcohol intoxication or adulterated alcohol intoxication. Whatever it is, if the patient develops visual loss or renal failure, try to treat the patient with fomepizole or ethanol as described in the previous slides. Thank you.